like they're gonna win the lane and try to invade the jungle, and now Pro eSports answer with the Sora. Quite a lot of damage. I feel like first turtle gonna be difficult for Selangor Giants.
A lot of team fight and a lot of pressure from the lane, who could just bounce all over the place for Pro eSports. But when you look at lanes, when you look at like setting up a macro game and playing it just through and through, do you feel maybe SRG got the better end of it, Brigitte?
It feels like maybe lane to lane in a way, because it's a very individual type of draft where they have to perform individually rather than us expecting them to go team fight head on. But we'll see if Pro eSports somehow get to handle that now that we're heading into game number 1.
Well, SRG have found a way to make it to grand finals every single time they have been at MSC EWC. Can they start their grand finals run again today, or will Pro eSports stand in their way? Let's send it over to our casters to find out. It's Gideon and Trex.
Thank you so much. Our very first series of the day is already going to be a banger here with the Selangor Red Giants playing on blue side, facing off against Pro from Cambodia on the red side. Now, Trex, I'm looking at this and immediately I'm getting a little bit of those flashbacks. Innocent on Moskov again?
I mean, at this point, we already know it's probably going to come. Moskov has been meta. He hasn't fallen off for a while. And Innocent, this is a dream pick for him. It's comfortable. It's comfy all around the map. But for me, my eyes are on the Harara being let through. This is a pick that has been banned out consistently.
And here's the thing. The question is whether or not they're going to have Sky Piercer, because the first invade is all looking way too good as they're looking for first blood.
A lot of damage on to PP there. Sakai's now running away, getting taken out by Kohli. A nice trade. A beautiful trade at that, taking out the jungler of SRG.
And that's perfect. That's exactly what they want. The trades need to be effective, and with the jungler already taken out of the question in trade for a support, I mean, Pro, they're punching above their weight. They're getting great trades so far, and I think Trex, at this point, we got to talk about strong side, weak side, because they initially played for early game strong side onto Cram to deal with Felix, and it's only going to be until level 4. After that, I think they're going to head down to the bottom side.
I mean, I think at that point, SRG with that quick invade, looking for play, kind of testing the waters, right? How good is Pro? Can we bully them? I think they learned quickly that Kohli is going to respond, and because of the movement on this lane, it's a bit harder to try to make those plays happen. And yes, Sekai's has the iframes, he has the ability to escape, but we're already seeing the consequences that can be made if you overextend.
I feel like he's already lost that momentum, right? As soon as you hit level 2 on Hirara, that's probably your biggest power spike overall without the items. But now, we're seeing that a lot of that mid-motion, right? Clear up that mid as soon as possible and immediately start moving towards the other sides of the map.
All right, so Pro eSports looking for an angle in. Sekai's already started working on this turtle. Saw making the way as well, does have level 4, can put out some decent damage, watch for the stun, but SRG's not going to try to rush this either as Kohli goes for the orange buff, a little bit of damage onto Yumes. Sakai's making his way in, Saram Felix gonna back off, no big angle from Pro just yet. Kohli has to finish this orange buff as quick as possible. He's gonna look for the angle in, no Finch Boys just yet, gets a nice little bit of damage on Sakai's, Tempest Blaze does, comes down, gets the knockup, plus the turtle, and a lot of damage on Sakai's, he's taken out. Pro eSports looking for the next target. Stormy runs away in shambles. Sorry, I'm Felix with a kill under his belt. Make it a purple buff as well.
The conversion is going to be good. Pro played that perfectly, knowing the Wrath of the Dryads was in the hands of Stormy. Already gave them an idea. Hey, they're looking to team fight, but they're not clearing this Lord fast enough. When we this turtle fast enough, let's look at the replay one more time, because Cram's job is very different. Right now, he can't zone out multiple people just yet. And the worst part about it, losing that 50-50 from the side of Sakai's has already netted this team to be playing on the back foot for at least the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised Sakai's went into that knowing the Tempest Blaze was going to come, but a little bit of damage down here on the boss side. Kuzin, gonna try to get away, gets hit by the Terrify, and a beautiful SOD from Innocent to get to the backside, taking out Kuzin. Pro eSports forced to back off. A nice little bit of something, and back to Innocent. Hasn't been involved in any of these fights. Having a decent experience could be the saving grace unless he's taken out by Kohli here. A couple more shots. Tempest of Blades does come down, and a kill into Kohli's pocket. Able to make sure he secures that Berserker's Fury.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Yume's already used all of his charges for the Fist Crack. Fist Break, unfortunately, did not connect at the right time. But like LaFell mentioned earlier, SRG is playing a really difficult composition. It's a composition where you truly must be interconnected, similar to Avatar. Just, you know, gotta make sure they can find something back.
Nice damage. Stormy able to output. but just not enough. Pepe takes him out. Saw gets the kill. Pro eSports have an answer for everything right now.
They kind of have the answer for everything. And I think the worst part about it is the update. The patch has made this Belleric a little better. Innocent now taking at least one gold crab here to make sure that he stays ahead. But this 1.3k lead that we see from Pro, I don't think it's leaving anytime soon. Let's quickly have a look at the level difference here. Sakai's currently at level 7. Thank you for moving away, Lord Spawn, to level 8. So he's a level down on this.
All right, Turtle, Tempest of Blades comes down coyly, able to take the Turtle with ease, and Sakai's once again in a horrible spot, dashes into death. Cram just trying to keep vision, just trying to help defend this mid lane, but Pro eSports doesn't care about it at all.
This is starting to snowball out of control. Sakai's made his best attempt to try to at least contest, but so far, Coily, he's been hitting these retributions perfectly on top of the advantage that he has. At this stage, as you can see, the PB is already invading the enemy side just to get early information to allow Coily to make the smartest choices. Hey, there's a lot of people down by this orange buff. Let's quickly push out mid. He's looking for efficiency.
I mean, right now, Pro eSports all around the map. A lot of damage onto Yums here. Gonna dive onto the tower. Yums has no escape, tries to flicker, but it's not enough today. They're gonna be able to take this tower. SOD does connect. Innocent does dash in. Was it a mistake? He just wants to clear it. Bakuzin's not gonna want to let him get away up at the top side, though. Saw falls. Sakai's onto Pepe. Pepe not gonna be able to get away. A nice double kill into the hands of SRG. Able to try to find something in the chaos.
Holy cow, that was dangerous. So dangerous. The SOD on top of utilizing your battle spells to get into this fight. It connects, he takes it, but he already knew that the backup was coming into that back line. Stormy even opting to flicker early with the stolen Wrath of Dryads to guarantee this kill onto Sa. The trading isn't just instantaneous, it's 15 to 20 seconds ahead in the future.
So SRG are still finding some moments, right? They're able to get some little trades. They're behind 2.5k gold, but it's definitely not the end of the world from them. We know that just with the game IQ, they can make something, shake something. Is it too late? I don't think a 2.5k gold lead is too late at all. We'll see at this first, not third tower, but I think first Lord is going to be the big moment where we know who's possibly got this in the bag.
You know, before anything happens, Zipper, pull up the item list. Thank you very much, because I'm interested in where Coily actually is at in this item list. He's 4-0-2 as of right now, and that's a phenomenal lead for any Ling player. And they're immediately on this turtle as SRG are trying to take that mid position.
I think that's the right play this time. Give up the turtle. Sakai's 2-0 on the first time, just keeps getting caught by the Tempest of Blades. Look for plays elsewhere. Innocent on the bottom side getting a little bit of push. Maybe they translate it to a tower, but Coily's already there to help defend.
Thanks, Zipper. That's already 2 items up for Coily. He's in a phenomenal position. Even if he gets put down to 1 HP, as long as he has Finch Poise, he can get out of there, go to 1 camp, get back up to full, and he's ready to fight once more. And that's so different in comparison to Hirara, which is so burst-oriented.
Nice damage onto Sariam Felix. Even Pro, even with the advantage they have, they're still taking things slow. They're still playing this smart. A slow push on the bottom lane, gonna connect onto that tower. Top side pushing as well. Pro eSports, you would think they might have came in very chaotic, but honestly, even with the aggression they have in the micro, they're playing a decent macro on the map.
Trying to make sure that they are efficient. They've developed their 1.6k lead, now over to a 3k lead. And you can see that Cram now, he's getting a lot more confident after that chastised Pauldron. He knows he can't get 100-0 just yet. Sa doesn't have his full 2 items, and most importantly, not enough burst with the amount of HP that he has, but I'm worried about Coily. He's getting close to that endless battle.
Cram, though, is another problem on the side of SRG. He's still deathless. Yes, in the beginning, he wasn't able to shine that much, but right now, as this game moves forward, he'll become more of a nuisance. Only quick stuns on the side of Pro eSports, except for the Wrath of the Dryad, but even that won't be able to hold Cram down if he can continue to harass.
But just look at the trades that they're doing, right? They know that we can't compete with the mobility of this Ling, so second best option, use Moskov to create these cross-map plays. That way, Ling is balanced out and you never have to keep worrying about, oh no, my long lane, I have to deal with it, if not I'm going to lose another structure. But looking at the items so far, more importantly, now that Sariam Felix has his second, this Lord is going to be really difficult. If he engages in there while having those Queen's Wings, there's a pretty good chance that SRG might opt to flicker past him and go straight for that back line.
Yeah, I almost feel like SRG, the way they're going to win these fights is positioning, right? I don't think they want to just go head first. Look at the damage on a Stormy. A little bit of play in the mid side. but just kind of baiting out skills at this point. Sakai's does get his retribution in as Coily starts working on the Lord. Sakai's wants to look for an angle. He just goes straight in once again. Sorry, Felix able to push him back. Trying to find the backside now. Tempest of Blades does come down, but Sakai steals the Lord beautifully, but Yums might just pay the price, but a beautiful response, pushing Pro back. Yums now on the run. Sakai comes in to make sure Sorry and Felix can't get to him. Nobody goes down except for Stormy, and that's a decent trade for SRG. Look at the boss side now as well.
Innocent, he's playing the exact same role that Coily is trying to do to threaten them in those side lanes, but luckily Sakai is able to win out that 50-50 despite being 2 levels down. That's the difference here. Both sides are going to be highly contesting these neutral objectives because, unfortunately, they don't have the correct tools to siege each other. So, truly, if you want to win that fight, it starts with this Lord, and you got to let the Lord do the work. Breaking the towers afterwards might be a little bit harder than it looks.
Yeah, but Innocent on the top side, going to gain some ground there, even if they don't follow in with this Lord. Ooh, wait a second. Coily into the backside onto Yums, putting out a lot of damage. Does have Tempest of Blades, decides not to use it, isn't going to chase it down. Cram now on to Kuzin as Innocent makes his way to the mid side as well. Sakai's getting brought down low, going to try to run through, takes a tower shot to the face, but will be able to dash through, but the chase is on. Sorry, Felix is going to catch him, but the iframes are still there. Does he get the juke? The sidestep, and Sakai's will not fall.
Oh my God! What a play!
Innocent does it again! Cross-map the Hail Mary!
Make him miss an SOD or something. This entire game, that SOD has been at a 100% efficiency, whether it's stealing away a camp, whether it's closing the distance, but most importantly, it's keeping Pro on their toes. They can't let their foot off the gas just yet, not against a team of this caliber.
And now the game has fallen into SRG's hands. Pro Esports, it was in their grasp. They had control, but control is not a given in a match against the Giants.
Oh man, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out, because now that Coily, he's got that Blade of Despair, he's got some real kill threat to anybody on the side of SRG.
All right, Cram into the backside continues to harass. Nice Tempest of Blades, does not get the knock up. Coily just trying to get away at this point, but there's no escape. Cram gets the kill, the recalls are out. SRG's in full form.
I figured it out. It's all about the scramble. It's all about the scramble. Somebody, you can be coordinated on the engage, but I have never seen a team actually go and disengage at the exact same time. And that's a big problem from both of these sides. Whoever breaks away first usually gets punished, whether it's soft. Wait, hold on.
Cram takes a lot of damage, still has the consecration, and has a flicker. Opted not to go Purify right here. Cram is comfortable, deathless. Like I said earlier, this Uranus is going to be more and more of a problem as this game goes on.
Yeah, I think even Kuzin is starting to recognize that he doesn't have enough consistent DPS to stay on top of Cram. And worse yet, it just feels like a waste of resources as Cram is zoning out 4 members to get the information they need.
All right, Coily wants to try to make his way down. Lord still getting contested as Saw keeps vision, but Cram just pushes them away. The one-man army. Coily cannot find a good angle. He can't come Riverside. He's got to go around the backside, but Cram's already got vision onto the whole team. And Sakai's isn't going to rush it. He bounces back and forth. Sorry on Felix in this tri-bush. May try to make a play, but the problem is mid lane's getting pushed in. Pro Esports has to back off.
Yep, they're not going to do this, and now SRG trying to be even more efficient. They're not going to show topside until it's too late, and now Pro, unfortunately, just has to respond to this as SRG are playing Pro's game, but just a little bit better, because they don't need... Oh!
A little bit of play, a lot of damage. Cram jumps onto 3. Tempest of Blades does come down, but it's more of an escape use. The taunt locks in. The Wrath of Dryad and Saw falls as Innocent is catching targets left and right. Sorry on Felix, just has to try to get away under the tower. But another Wrath of Dryad and a double kill for Innocent. Oh my God. Kuzin just wants to live. Goes back to base, and SRG didn't even need the Lord. They're finding members.
Oh my goodness, Innocent. An incredible baseline. He is showing that all gold laners need to have perfect movement. Look at that! Nothing can touch this guy so far. Every ability, pixel perfect footsies all the way through. It's been tough because Pro has been throwing so much at him.
Coily.
Can he steal it?
Coily. Tempest of Blades comes down. He goes, but Sakai still secures it. Coily gets the kill on a Stormy, though. He's trying to make the big play, trying to get away. It's not enough.
I don't know. Between so many regions across the world, for some reason, Malaysia versus Cambodia always gets the blood pumping.
Always a banger.
Always a banger. Oh my goodness. It is a tough game here, but it's not completely over. Pro understand, hey, we still have scaling on our side. Zipper, if you pull up the items, I'm pretty sure that Kuzin is pretty much getting to his third, if not finished it already at this stage. Yep, fourth item technically already complete here. He's got real damage. The problem is that he can't close the distance. If not, Stormy or even Yums could knock him out of place.
All right, Pro Esports, can they defend it? They still have inhibitors. This is only first Lord, second Lord actually.
They got a
Crash has come through. Sakai's wants to jump in. Yums with conceal play. Doesn't find the big payoff. SRG looking for an angle on the backside. A lot of damage from Sakai's. Coily just wants to try to clear the waves. Innocent looking to target onto this base, but Lord is already down to 20%. Sicko to Pepe, trying to run away right now. 9 seconds ablaze. Sakai's taking out Coily. Gets the pick off.
And they're looking for more. Can't shift even more. They're still holding the wave. It's 3 of down, and they want to push this and make sure they buy another 4 minutes into this game.
Pro Esports with a beautiful defense. Cram falls the first time he's died yet. Can they do more? Kuzin gets a nice shot onto Yums. Stormy doesn't want to give it up just yet. The minions are still on the base. Pro Esports trying to defend 2 more waves coming in.
They can hold on.
They go to Pepe. Doesn't have the ult. Coily. They're able to push him away. Pro Esports survives another wave.
You can tell. Both sides, they just want that moment to breathe, and SRG finally have to let go of the pressure after losing Sakai's alongside with Cram. They recognize Pro. They're going to be able to respond faster. Can he get this? No. At least he has the purple buff, but does he trade?
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Yums goes down. Immortality does pop. Can he escape this? Sorry, I'm Felix. Look at the final shot. Kuzin able to get it. That's a 42-second death timer on the side of SRG. Lord comes up in 45.
All right, I got to stand up for this one.
Yeah.
With this game,
hype it up.
It's a high intensity for too long, 16 minutes already, and there hasn't been a moment where their heart skips a beat every single time. Cool, calm, calculated. I mean, we're the amateurs here compared to those professionals up there, but now we're getting into the later stages of the game. Maximum items. Is this a punish?
Ooh, shifting skies. Cram takes a lot of damage. But Coily's gonna back off. Rather does come down, but doesn't connect onto anyone. Pepe gotta run away right now. Pro Esports gotta give up space as SRG takes control of the Lord Pit.
Yeah, and with missing inhibitors on all fronts, Pro recognize that, man, we're gonna have to pray that Coily can be the one that buys us the extra 3 minutes we need. If he steals this Lord, this is going to start dragging out. But Pro don't have the advantage in the lanes. Every single side is getting shoved in.
All right, but Pro Esports know this may not be a Lord they can give up. And when you're in a position like this where you have no inhibitors, you kind of have to force the fight. You can't play the long haul. You can't play the dance. And this could be the fight they're trying to force. Look at the damage. Coily in the backside. Tempest of Blades does come down. Sorry, I'm Felix able to just get away, but taken out by Yums. And the fist crack. Saw's down next. Pepe locked on to as Kuzin and Coily trying to make it back to base. The Terrify. The immortality isn't enough.
And there you have it. The forced mistake coming out of Pro and SRG. This is why Macro plays a huge part in this game. With such a tough composition to play as well, they managed to hold on and turn these conversions only limited to the jungle and not structural damage.
And SRG with a well-fought battle will take game number 1.
It's not over just yet. This is an amazing contest of 2 incredibly mechanically inclined teams.
Looks like Pro Esport, what Moon is saying, they still want to double down on more crowd control, but this time having Ixana going straight to the back and try to get the instant kill, but now Selangor Giants with the Farsa as well as the Claude. So right now it looks like they want to fight fire with fire. You have burst, we have burst. And he can still play the long live with the Claude.
Wow, look at this.
Not looking fun. This is not looking fun.
I mean, I don't know about you. I'm having fun with the draft coming in from both teams.
Well, if you're playing this lineup right now, then you might not have this much of a good time because you already are seeing so much backline potential from SRG.
Man.
And you're playing a Vexana with little to no mobility or escape tools as well. If not for that knock-up you could just get from the Eternal Guard. But again, you raised the question on what Kuzin could pick up. We're not sure if the Ruby is going to be his hero, honestly. But Moon, do you think it's a gold Ruby? Or do you think they are still planning to flex it? Okay, never mind.
Back to it. Well, in some ways, this is confidence that we did some things right and we needed to swap a little bit. That's where the Ruby comes in off the ban list and the Vexana to try to mix up what is a similar 3 out of 5, Harith, Ling, and Belleric for Pro Esports. But the Farsa, the Cho, the Claude, and the Freya, all new picks here for SRG.
I gotta say, this looks like a very fun draft coming in from Selangor Giants. This is the kind of draft that says, we still want to show our micro, but we just want to end the game fast.
Moon, it's been great having you and your thoughts as well. We're going to follow you along your stream. Thank you for joining the desk.
Thank you for having me.
As Game 2 is about to get underway, SRG trying to make it back to grand finals here for the 3rd time in a row at MSC. The challenge of Pro Esports stands in the way. What can they do? Game 2 as we send it over to Gideon and Trex.
Thanks so much. We're already jumping into this next game, and the adjustments have been made by Pro. And I'm not gonna lie, initially when I saw Vexana, I'm pretty sure with the rest of the world, we were all like, wait, what? Why? Why are we going this when the Eudora was already doing some good work trading battle spells? And I think what it comes down to is wave clear. I mean, you can get Cinco de Pepe to come with you every single time to get that concussive blast, but now with Sa on this Vexana, single-handedly, I can clear this waves. Pepe, go where you need to be.
That is fair, but you still have to be careful because with something like this, you lack the flicker. Yes, you had to pick up a flicker yourself, but you lack the movement, and that's where I kind of like this Farsa. And you lack some of that big AoE where I would have kind of liked the Eve possibly for Pro. But again, they're the pros here. They're the ones who have to make the decision. You do at least get the stiff arm for Cram. You have the Terrify. You have that ult that can kind of either disengage or engage, so there is potential for Saw here.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of potential, in matter of fact. I was thinking Eve in the same exact light, but I think the big problem is that once you drop down that RWM, you're kind of a sitting duck, and I think here up in the top side, Innocent doing a very good job at winning out this lane and even getting an early regenerate out of Kusen. He's going in to call for some help here, and Belleric is on the way.
Oh, Sakai's though wants to try to target down Kuzen. First blood into the hands of Sakai's.
And it's just a little too late. Pepe could not get there in time. A great setup coming in from SRG's side. But now it looks like with that top side winning the way that it is, it's got to be a bit of a trade, right? Strong side bot with this Freya. This Ruby is going to try their best to try and slow Cram down as much and more ideally sandbag him.
Coily gets knocked up. Coily's been doing amazing on this Ling last game. Even when he died, he was making some great plays, always at least trading off. Able to secure the first 3 turtles, all 3 turtles, into the hands of Pro Esports. This time, Pro, though, definitely taking a slightly slower pace. They want to look for the engage, but look at SRG in this bush.
Yeah.
Oh, nice time offended. A lot of damage comes in. Cram has to try to run away. But the Venom airstrike comes down, instantly targeted by Coily. Coily able to finch Pro's away to safety. But Yooms is there.
Punish? No.
Yooms not going to punish.
Nah, unfortunately the flicker is coming back up only in 12 more seconds. The mistake was the fact that Cram and Stormy, they had the right idea. They're in position to actually activate the gank, but as soon as that feather airstrike comes up, instant target prioritization coming in from Coily to attack him. Let's look at the replay one more time, right? The I'm Offended comes on through and even Cram decided to disengage from that fight. I was thinking whether Cram could actually 1v3, but it's too early on in the game for him to do that, so they just have to peel away the jungler to slow down any kind of snowball attempt.
Still a big win for SRG though. 1.2k gold lead, a turtle, 2 kills. The deaths are on Sariam Felix and Kuzen, both offlaners. And a big kick lands down onto Pepe and he falls. Coily now trying to pick up something in the midst of the chaos. Tempest of Blaze does come down. Gonna get the knock up onto Yooms. Yooms falls, moves on to Stormy. Stormy forced to wings by wings away. Coily has one more Finch pose in the pocket, but Cram's gonna try to lock on. Sariam Felix here to help out. And SRG backs off.
Yep, they could have tried to deny the purple buff, but luckily, Felix is just man-to-man defense against Cram. Not gonna let him walk away from this lane scot-free. And on the opposite side for SRG, this is a big lead. 1.5k is looking really, really good right now. However, a lot of their damage is coming from both Sakai's and as well as Stormy. Yooms is supplementary damage, but eventually it's going to fall off in the later stages of the game.
All right, so with that, I feel like we're taking a slightly slower pace this game. Things seem a little more even, but SRG still holding a nice lead.
And I like the movements from this, right? Hey, let's try and invade. Oh no, they're already there? Okay, let's quickly clear up mid and set up a potential dive on bot side. Now keep in mind, sorry, I'm Felix. 7 more seconds until that flicker comes back up, and Cram I mean, he's thinking about it, but somebody needs to make the kick happen.
He does have the ult. This is a scary hero to go under a tower with. A lot of ability to hold you down for a second or more too. Pro Esports has no idea they're all there. They finally do show themselves. A lot of damage on Asari and Felix, able to use the flicker back out of the way into safety. And SRG knows they weren't able to get it. They're gonna back off.
Beautifully played, and now they unlock Cram from this lane, and they need to quickly run back up towards Turtle's side. Unfortunately for Pro, they can't rush it down just yet, so SRG will contest.
Looms gets away the dragon, right into Sakai's, a lot of damage. On to Belleric. Pepe will fall, Innocent able to get the kill, but the response quickly from Kuzin, able to get one onto Yums. Roamer for Roamer. Kuzin in the midst of Zmon's force. Cram forced to back off, doesn't have an ult anymore, and now Pro Esports has the pit.
Yep, they played for the fight, and now they don't have enough to contest for this turtle. They trade supports, and that's the thing. They're trying to make sure they keep Coily in one place for as long as possible, while SRG quickly have to make a cross-map play on the opposite side. Let's look at this replay one more time, because initially, I was thinking maybe they don't have enough damage, but then Innocent comes in with a Blazing Duet to give that last bit of a kick that they need to get across that finish line. Cram, the entire time, zoning out Sa. It's a great idea, because Sa is going to be the main anchor for the side of Pro Esports to wombo combo with each other.
All right, so it's a turtle for a turtle. Pro starting to show off a little bit. Coily getting some nice damage on a Cram there. Force use of Valkyrie's Ascent just to get away. Pro Esports are matching the pace very well across the map, and even when SRG looks for plays, they haven't been able to secure the big gank yet.
Yeah.
Yes, they're able to like attack the offlane, but nobody's gone down to those advances just yet.
See, that's the thing. I think that Pro actually decided to adapt it. They realized that a lot of the punishment was targeted towards Coily's side, a lot of the invasions as well, and even down here by bot side, right? They're trying to keep him in visible areas across the map. They're not letting him take control on the opposite ends, and I think they've been doing this since game number 1 for the side of SRG. Pro on the other side, hey, if they're focusing on our Ling for this long, you know what? We're going to play for our Harith, right? Look at the reinforcements controlling this top side. Wait, a kick!
A lot of damage. Saw goes down, but a lot of ults used as well from SRG. They're going to be able to take that tower in the boss side as well. It finally falls. They've used so much just to try to secure it, and all Pro Esports are going to get out of this is a top tower.
This is quite the scrum, a game of rugby. Sakai's, no, Coily not going to go for it just yet. Scared that maybe without the Blade of Tempest, he's going to get hit by the stun. That's a pretty good call here for the side of Pro. It's 6-3, but this 1.7k lead has not been developed further than this.
All right, so Pro Esports kind of backed against a wall a little bit here. I do feel like SRG has been ahead of them, but still they're calm, right? And Coily continues to look for targets, wants Cram so bad. Can he get the final hit? Tempest of Blades comes down, but a nice jump away from Cram. And now Asari and Felix is going to try to get locked up with a big kick onto Coily. Right into the feathered airstrike. Yum's caught in between 3, will fall as well, but still it's a jungler for a roamer. SRG gets a huge advantage.
It's great, it's great. This turtle should fall into their hands as Pro is forced to move back into the lanes to make sure something happens. And Innocent, he's max stacked right now on that Art of Thievery. He's dealing some real damage.
A lot of damage from Stormy as well on Asari and Felix. Sakai's able to get it, and everyone misses Cram. Looking for the engage here. Doesn't have the Valkyrie Ascent. Will back off. Kuzin looking for a quick strike. Drops Mon's force, he dives in, but he's stunned up, taken out. Kuzin might just get away from the Blazing Duet. Kuzin dashes back. Innocent not able to get the final shot down, but still a win in SRG's book.
Oh my goodness, you can hear that crowd. What a gut punch. They wanted to see Kuzin go down, but his mechanics kept him back up. And with the trades that have been happening across the map, honestly, it's not the worst for Pro, but at the same time, it's not helping the scenario, right? It's just trying to stop the bleeding. It's trying to stop the infection from spreading. And for Pro, Coily, he's that guy. But let's look at this replay just one more time, right? A great play because Kuzin has just enough CDR to be able to close that distance, but Sakai's locking him in place to not sneak in that last auto attack.
I was looking, I was so locked onto Kuzin. Sakai's getting taken out by Sariam Felix. Definitely evens the playing field a little bit there in that fight, right? Pro Esports haven't fallen behind. I mean, last game when they were ahead, they were sitting at about a 2.5k goal lead, and SRG was able to turn things around. This time, SRG only leading by 1.4. Pro Esports definitely not out of this. They're going to try to move on to this bottom tower. The slow push, and SRG's not going to be able to make it there. Gotta watch out for Yums. Nice way of the dragon. Tempest of Blades comes down. Innocent has not engaged this yet. Yums taken out. This could be bad for SRG. They don't want to force the engage. They're forced to just defend.
Able to get the Tempest of Blades out and buffer it just before the kick actually connects. Really good stuff here because it comes in 2 parts with that kick. So if you want to drag it out and max it out, you absolutely can. But if you got the right boots, you can get out of it no problem as soon as you have your abilities available. This could be Flicker, this could be Bladed Tempest. Either or works the exact same way. In this particular case here, I'm noticing that SRG, unfortunately, don't have the same benefits. Pro can walk into you like a bulldozer, overwhelming force. SRG actually have to play the consistent push and pull. They can't all go in at the same time. If not, Bellerin gets value, but Cram can't go in by himself.
Both teams dead even on towers on the off lane. No big macro advantage, but a lot of damage on Ayum's. Feather Airstrike comes down, but the damage isn't enough to keep Pro Esports off of his teammate. Pro Esports now, with a man up, aren't going to rush this Lord, but Sakai's with a cheeky positioning into this tri-bush, looking for someone to fall into the trap.
Actually, that was pretty huge. The fact that Pepe lost not only his Flicker, but his Wrath of the Dryads, he can't force a play upon his opponent. He pressed the buttons in the wrong order, and now this contention might be a little bit harder than it seems.
I mean, with a man up, he still feels comfortable. Sakai's going to try to make his way in. Coily's still able to get the Lord. Sakai's able to get away with his life. Trying to take it. He's going to move on to the target, though. Pepe taking a lot of damage. Valkyrie sent into the backside. Sakai's goes down because Kuzu responds with Smon's Force. And now Pepe may be able to get away here as Cram is unable to secure a kill. It's 2 down in the side of SRG and a Lord into the hands of Pro Esports.
And this is what I was talking about. It's so difficult for SRG to throw everything at the wall. Somebody might be out of position. Somebody is a little too far. And they need to be in literally the perfect triangulated area to catch everybody. Because look at the tri-brush here. Instantly when you see that Cram decides, I'm going to change my targets over to Saw's side, the rest of Pro immediately collapse around him. And most importantly, Sarian Felix is buying the perfect amount of time for everybody to either battle spell out of there or create some distance.
Feather Airstrike does come down in defense, but a lot of damage on Ayum's. Ayum's just hasn't been able to hang out long in these fights. The damage just a little too much from Pro Esports. Are they going to move for this? Oh, Sarian Felix comes in. Purple buff is secured by Sakai still, but a close call on the side of SRG.
If they potentially dive this, and Sarian Felix, he might just initiate. He's looking for these T2, but he's definitely not going to get that tower.
Damage. Feather Airstrike comes down. Sarian Felix forced it back off. Tower does not go down like you said. But Pro Esports are relentless. They're going to wait for the next wave and take it down.
Yeah, this Ruby pick, especially with the wave, ridiculous side.
A little bit of a 1v1 here. Innocent, not on the Moskov this time, won't be safe. Coily, though, able to binge pose and escape.
No.
A beautiful steal from Pro Esports.
Really good stuff there. Innocent, unfortunately, just needed to kite backwards towards where Sakai's was going to be. He was really trying to sell that he was by himself, and unfortunately that costed him his life. And again, this is a much better position from Pro. Game number 1, they have the early game. Game number 2, now they have the mid to late down on lock.
Coily's starting to feel himself a little bit. Oh, I'm offended from Sarian Felix and Sakai's is taken out. Pro Esports back off immediately. They're playing it cleanly too. They don't overextend. We got our target and we leave.
He pulled off the Michael Jai White. He was like, he's not given the signal that he's going to engage. It just looks like his hand is floating there, and the next thing you know, he's caught 2.
Uh-oh, Feather Airstrike comes down. Just trying to fend at this point, but every time the Feather Airstrike comes out, Coily's there. He really wants him to use it.
He wants it bad, and right now, I think that SRG, they have to recognize that they can't fight traditionally against Pro. It really comes down to the force mistakes, but now that they're taking too much structural damage, I don't know how much control they can actually have. Looking at the items, finally 3 down for Stormy. He's a real threat in the damage department, but he can never use his Feathered Airstrike first, because as soon as he does, Coily's right on top of him.
Oh, what a beautiful I'm offended there.
Right?
And Kuzin was so ready for it. The comms right now are on point.
It's so good, but the worst part is that it's unpredictable. You don't know when he's going to flicker I'm offended at this point. He's not giving the traditional signals most EXP laners usually give.
Okay. Nice kick. On to Pepe, but Coily in the backside once again forces Stormy away. Pepe's unfazed. Coily just one by one. Anyone can come catch these hands at this point.
Yeah, they're throwing it up. They have to play the D. And so far, it's a lot more difficult to play the cross map without the Moskov. seal out, and yeah, Cram, they have to contest this.
Gonna look for it in. Kuzin gets the Lord. Blazing duet to the backside by Innocent. Takes out Saw. Sorry, I'm Felix looking for a target. As Tempest Blaze lands to the backside. The dash through. Cram falls. And now Coily gets kicked, but it's still not enough to stop him. Stormy drops. Yumes might just be the next on the chopping block, but Pro doesn't care. They're coming down the mid lane.
And if there's one thing that I've learned about the Cambodians, don't mess with their assassin plays, especially when it comes down to Ling, because they are nasty with it as they're looking to open up the inhibitor with a Lord empowered wave just after.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Esports tied the score.
What a prediction with the I'm offended. Holy cow, we got a real game on our hands, 1-1, as both sides refuse to back down.
And then the Yuzhong into the back lines.
I gotta say, Rain, this is a draft that's hard for me to call.
Yeah.
Because the win conditions is not like rock, paper, scissors. This is very, like, you need a lot of context about what happens in the game. So it's gonna be difficult for me to call this one.
Yeah, so probably one of those down to execution type of scenarios. As cliche as it sounds, it might be the way to go as we head into game number 3.
Well, as it should be, with two teams fighting to advance here. One to go elimination side, one to keep their dreams alive with a chance to advance with one more win. Let's see what happens here as we go to game 3 of our first series of Group B.
As we jump on into this match point for either side, and I gotta agree with the table here. It is a tough game to call as both compositions are distinct in what they want to do, but most importantly, it changes and fluctuates depending on the game state, and each one of these phases is gonna be devastating for those who give first blood.
Let's be honest, all 3 games have been a tough game to call. It has been a coin flip back and forth between these 2 teams. I do feel like SRG, there's a lot on the line of how is Innocent going to do on this Clint. Yes, sometimes the Clint can be an amazing pick, but for me, I worry that there's just not enough of a box around him, and he could be an easy target for Pro Esports.
I think he's going to be the main anchor of the team. He's going to be coming in the last person to show up. I think it's going to be Cram who has to somehow zone out Saw to keep him outside of that area, and the rest of the team need to figure out how to way to deal with Sorry I'm Felix, because let me tell you, that Vengeance is going to buy him like 3 seconds worth of time, and that could be like anywhere between 6 to 19 auto attacks.
Very, very fair at that. Both teams, though, taking it slow here. Nobody going for the big invades. You do see Yumes kind of checking out Orange Buff to at least figure out the pathing of Coily here, but nobody trying to overextend. It is game 3. It is a lot on the line right now.
A lot on the line. I love the pull yourself together coming out from Saw. He understands. I'm willing to trade flickers, but most importantly, if I catch somebody without theirs, it's game over for them. And I like the fact that Pro have adjusted, right? They didn't get super aggressive in the mid stages of the game. And more importantly, for the mid lane, they want SRG to kind of walk out here. They've already figured out the jungle pathing of where Sakai's is going to be with the help of Cinco de Pepe, and he's made sure that he knows, okay, he started on Orange Buff. They're going to show back up on this turtle side again, so level 4s are going to be key.
Good poke from Innocent there. He is forced to use the Revitalize, the Rejuvenation. On the boss side, Turtle will be up. Sakai's going to look for any angle in, but again, both teams just taking things so slow. It's so different compared to what we saw previously.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Speak of the devil, though, a lot of damage onto Yumes. Yumes taking out first blood into the hands of Coily. Basaw's going to fall next as Stormy finds a kill. Sakai's looking for a target, but forced to run away. Pro Esports taking domination over the pit. Cram drops as well. 2 members down inside of SRG. Skies isn't done just yet. Coily low. Stormy keeping vision. Yumes back to the party. Doesn't have Fist Crack available to him. He's still level 3. So we can't get a big playoff. Sorry, and Phoenix zoning them away as Pro Esports takes the first turtle.
They tried to drag this out as long as possible, and really unfortunate for Cram, right? He finds the initial assist, but unfortunately he can't keep fighting forever when there's so much CC on the opposite side. Unlucky for Stormy, wasn't able to get the steal the Wrath of the Dryads fast enough to buy him those precious few seconds to get a little bit more out of his Shah residue passive. In the meantime, though, This first turtle already in the hands of Pro, a very slight lead, but the lane states hasn't really changed too much. Maybe for Sariam Felix, but for everybody else, it's pretty neutral.
Sariam Felix just consistently rotating up to this mid. We can already see the slight aggression. They smelled blood. They're looking for maybe a little something more here. Cram hanging out in lane. But I mean, that's kind of the plan, right? You wait until the objectives, and that's when you want to use that Black Dragon. Whereas when you're on this Freya, you want to move around a bit more. You have the ability to do that.
Yeah, the lane states are so important, especially like manipulating these waves. Cram understands if he hard shoves this, there's a good chance that Sariam Felix, if he's there at the right time, he's able to kind of freeze him out and will always take a negative trade against him if he's next to his tower.
Oh, Coily walks right into it. Danger has struck. Sakai's gets the kill.
Beautiful and intelligent invade here. They knew for a fact he was going to show up, knowing that he started on the top side of the map. So this was all pre-planned by SRG, and also not to mention the fact that they've denied information. On the top side, nothing much is going to be happening here, right? Like, we're expecting both teams to get more aggressive, but I think the lane states are by far too important to disrupt.
You know, you would think Pro has maybe learned the lesson a little bit. SRG has loved coming down to this bot lane. They love that tri-bush, but it looks like Pro loves Stormy. They're looking for the target. Sariam Felix needs one more hit. He finally gets it. Consistently finding moments to get an advantage.
Every single time. And luckily for Sariam Felix, he's not wasting much. He's just going. He wants a whole priority, doesn't mind sacrificing. Oh!
Nice fist crack, doesn't fully commit though. Knows he wasn't able to get more than one.
That's a Black Dragon form. I think they just have to give this up unless Cram makes a super play where he petrifies 3.
Cram is looking for it. Unable to connect though. Sariam Felix connected himself. Will get knocked up, but it's just to make sure Cram can get away. Pro eSports moves on to the turtle as Sakai's points his eyes elsewhere.
All right, that was expected here. It was going to be a no contest no matter what. Yums made an attempt, and unfortunately, that's going to be the signal to back away. But Sariam Felix is becoming a little bit of a problem. He's starting to take more control over his side of the map, making it more difficult for people like Sakai's to even take his regular camps.
All right, so Pro eSports with good control over the rotations, good control over the map. Sariam Felix seems to be a step ahead of Cram. We saw this in game number 1 though. SRG just needed to wait for that mid state so they can start working together, start overpowering as a team. Right now they're still playing a very split up game. Do we think that moment's gonna happen around the 7-8 minute mark when some of those second items start really locking in?
I think it depends on who gets this upcoming turtle, right? If they can deny Sakai... Oh!
A lot of damage onto Yums. Saw able to get the kill. Sakai's wants to try to dash into the backside, but he's unable to connect. The stuns are just too much. The stiff arms are always there. Tempest Blaze comes down. Maybe a bad play. The re-engage is there. Coily locks in. Diving under the tower. Finding Innocent. Stormy just looking. Coily doesn't want to stop.
No. They're so good at extending their leads, but it's still going to be flying clouds, right? They will be able to get back into their base, into the fountain, and immediately start heading back to where they need to be. They can respond fast, and Pro recognizes this, right? Luckily, we're seeing how fast with the hand cams, how quick these people are playing. But let's look at this one more time, because again, it's really coming down to how hard can we punish Yums. We take away the trigger man, and the rest of the weapon just doesn't fire anymore.
Yeah, and Cinco de Pepe, PPPPP, whatever you want to call him, the guy has been on fire, always catching Yums. And it's not just this game. We saw it before, even on the game that they lost. This Belleric has been a nuisance overall. It makes it so hard for SRG to want to engage.
Yeah, and worse yet, now we're seeing the infection starting to bleed out from that EXP lane. Small camps getting taken away, and now they fight.
A lot of damage onto Stormy. Stormy not able to get away. Sariam Felix with Valkyrie descent, but in the back lines, guys trying to make up for the loss of his teammates, but he's unable to do anything in the face of Pro eSports. Cram falls next. And Pro eSports lead this game with 5,000 gold. It's nothing but Innocent left.
They can't do anything about it. The peel is too good, and if SRG makes the first move, it's gonna be Pro who finishes it. As they take this T2, let's look at this fight one more time, because again, this is a terrible position for SRG. They want to have a traditional front to back. Innocent doesn't have as much mobility now that he's playing Clint, instead of having something as good as a Harith or even a Moskup, or more importantly, the Claude.
Yeah, they keep getting disconnected. It's no longer a front to back, it's a front and back, because someone else is standing in between them. And at that point, once they're split up, Stormy gets taken out. Sakai's already committed to the backside, which means he's going to get taken out because he's got no backup from his team. SRG is getting intersected every time.
It's starting to look like a bit of bullying, right? You know, he's coming into and stealing the meat from your sandwich, leaving you with only 2 pieces of bread and nothing good in the middle. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. We need to start seeing the third item start to come on through. Unfortunately for Cram, not even the second item has been completed, so he hasn't been able to sustain as hard as he wants to. And there, the Wrath of the Dryads is out. This might be the signal.
SRG isn't going to force it, though. I don't think they can force it right now.
No, the IMU got wasted, took the Salmon Force, did not get the Wrath of the Dryads there. They're just going to have to let this happen.
Sakai's at least on top side looking for some play on the map. They haven't taken a single tower yet. So not only is it a huge gold lead, it is a huge map lead for Pro Esports. Sorry, I'm Felix, 2-0-3. The man has been a monster on this Freya.
It really has. And the worst part is that they have no real... Oh!
Big stun, a lot of damage on a Stormy. Cram takes it as well. Coily, untouched, unfazed. Another tower should drop here. Pro Esports relentless.
This is disgusting. Like, Sa can do this forever. This is such an impressive play style. 80 seconds to 103. That's a 23-second difference just because he has pull yourself together. And Sa's gonna do it again. He's gonna keep repeating this process, targeting Stormy to make sure that they don't have any form of counter engage, because Yums is the only one who's allowed to walk forward.
So do we think we're regretting the Ling pick up front? Maybe should they have gone for something else? I feel like at this point, the Harar or the Ling, it's an even trade no matter what. No matter what, you get one of them. Maybe you can start prioing something else. Or is Pro Esports just outplaying in a general sense?
I think it's outplay, and I think I wish they were thinking, I wish we had Lapu, but here we go.
Sakai's looking for a way into the backside. Coily still able to get it once again. Sakai's looking for the steal. At least they don't lose any members. They still have a holy defense in the mid and the bot. This could be defendable still against Pro Esports.
That was a difficult contest here, especially for Sakai's. Despite the Bladed Tempest, right now he is 2 levels down to Hirara and has plenty of base damage just to kind of go above and beyond the Retribution numbers that we're seeing so far. And now that SRG backed all the way into the corner, we're seeing a repeat of game number 1, but this time for Pro.
Skies continues to play the off lanes while his team defends. The holy defense will be in the mid side for when this Lord comes. Meaning Pro Esports may not be able to get a full push in.
Cancel the recall.
Is this the 1v1?
He's got to cancel the recall. Ooh. There we go. That's it. That's what Coily has been doing all game. Oh, you're going to recall in a very dangerous spot. I'm going to waste another 5 seconds of your life. And these 5 seconds have been stacking up already.
Seal play on the top side. Cinco to Pepe looking for a target. Cram forced to back off.
Okay.
Wrath of Dryad has not come out just yet. He's holding on to it. He finally pops it. A lot of damage on Ayums, dive into the backside, Kuzin gets the kill. Sakai's into the backside as well. Tempest of Blades comes down, unable to find any target. Sakai just can't secure it as Coily gets it with barely a sliver of health. 2 members drop on the side of SRG, but they do defend their inhibitors.
It's down to the wire. It's down to 1 HP. That makes the difference in Pro. Unfortunately, it was a good play. At SRG, they had the answer, but they didn't have the economic lead to make it work.
Honestly, though, the fact that they lost no inhibitors is still huge. I might rather want to lose 2 of my team members than lose that off lane. Lord is going to be up soon. Macro is going to be important. Where we are at in this game right now.
We are at quite a difficult moment for SRG because now, at the very least, they're willing to throw bodies for these inhibitors. They don't want to be put in a forced mistake scenario, but at the same time, they clearly don't have enough numbers to finish off the correct targets. I think the only person they can really jump on is Sa. Kozin, he's vulnerable for the next 30 seconds, but by the time the Lord actually spawns, he's going to get the Purify up again.
It's Pro Esports. I think at this point they just continue to take it slow, or is there a clock eventually ticking for SRG? Because I still am on the board that SRG is not completely out since they didn't lose any inhibitors.
That's a good question.
It's comfortable, right? The map isn't, it's not like what we saw in game 1 where Pro had 0 inhibitors. It's going to be hard to fight for a Lord. The possibility is still slightly there.
It is. Thank you, Ziffer, for pulling it up. Already 1 step ahead of me here. But yes, 3 items already done, but I don't know how they're going to take advantage of the Sky Piercer. This might have been a little bit of a mistake on Innocent's part, but at the same time, I think it's a lot of faith as well. The rest of the team is like, we will put them at 1 HP. If you had Sky Piercer just a little bit earlier and you could auto-attack them, that would have been a 2-for-2 trade. So at this stage, my hands are up here. I'm praying that SRG can find that angle, but Pro, they have not made this easy.
Look at this position from Yumes right now. They're definitely going to try to fight for this Lord. Look for a cheeky back. They do not know. It's a very clean position. Nobody checked the bush on the side of Pro Esports. He's going to come into the backside. Conceal play. Can he target down? Yumes looking for Sakai's gets the Lord! And a big fist crack. But Pro Esports hasn't fallen just yet. Saw drops as SRG tries to get away with the steal of their life. The steal of this game. Coily low. Stormy shuts him down. SRG have flipped the table.
And they've done it. They've done it. I thought they were going to play for the fight, but unfortunately, Yumes said, no, we are going to go straight for Coily. They lock him down. The iframes are good, but it's not over just yet. Kozin!
Stormy tries to do something, unable to do it. Kozin.
I don't know. Kozin slapped him. Just a big backhand to Stormy saying, no. This is not over just yet. We're dominating this game, and we're going to try and run away with it.
SRG just one play. We were talking about it. It wins the clock ticking. They didn't need a clock. They just needed Yumes in a beautiful position coming in from the backside. Sakai's finally able to get a neutral objective under his belt in game number 3. And now they are knocking on the door of Pro Esports.
I can't believe both Cram and Yumes technically survived that. They used everything to try and disrupt Coily from actually taking away this Lord. And SRG knew that if this next Lord falls into Pro Esports' hands, there's a pretty good chance this game ends in the next 4 minutes. But now they've bought themselves some time. The investment has been worth it, and we are getting to the end game. Now that we're at 44K to 47, despite a 2.5K lead for Pro, Sakai's alongside with Innocent have completed all of their core items.
Man, they didn't check that bush. They didn't check that bush. I've seen that bush be used against teams that I like in my own favor. Nice fist crack, though, does come in. Kozin takes a little bit of damage.
It's
Black
good.
Dragon.
It's good.
The petrified. Kozin goes down. Sakai's able to get the kill. The response, though, comes in from Coily. The iframes just aren't enough. Cram falls. He's able to find it. Sakai's with a double under his belt. It's a brawl. As Sariam Felix is trying to get away, but Coily finds Stormy and ties it up. It's 3 for 2. Pro Esports definitely not out of this.
The push and pull was good from SRG, but Pro said, I got one better. Really unfortunate for Sakai. He was willing to die to trade off. Let's look at the replay one more time, because this did not work out the way that Pro wanted to. And all of a sudden, with the counter engage coming in from not only Yumes, but forcing Pepe to drop down that Wrath of the Dryads, really turned the fight in SRG's favor. But here's the problem. After everybody continuously fought for this long, the big play came down to when Sakai's ended up going down after Bellerin caught him with the taunt before he goes. Then, how do you deal with a Freya? You can't deal with that fully scaled up Freya, man.
Man, I think the whole crowd right now is on the edge of their seats. We are on the edge of our seats.
Everybody's praying. They're praying for their teams, hoping there's a God out there to give them some strength, because 7 to 15 so far, and Pro has not been able to put the final tombstone on SRG.
And everyone still has inhibitors.
Yeah.
Meaning, honestly, this could go another Lord after this. If this is just a clean Lord take where nobody loses too much, this could still go a little bit farther. Pro Esports is going to start it up. Cram does have Black Dragon. We're going to wait for that one. Yumes as well with the fist crack.
Here we go.
Green dots everywhere. Sakai's into the backside. Please. Wait a second. A lot of damage. He gets it once again. And the damage comes down onto Saw. Yumes trying to get away with his life as Cram holds the rest of the team back. Masariam Felix won't make it against Sakai's.
Oh my goodness, Cram, despite everything that he actually tried, the dashes from Coily, he played it perfectly. Iframe to dodge, manages to slip past, and even then, it wasn't good enough. If they can hold on for just a little bit longer and protect an inhibitor, maybe there's an opportunity, but I don't think it's going to show right now. Here they come, because Kozin, he still has that Zaman Force.
He does have the Zaman's Force. Pepe's low, though. Crash will come in. Zaman's Force drops. Cram taken out. Coily's going for more. Dashes in, does miss. Has to get out of the base. Taken out. Innocent with the shutdown. Into the backside. Sakai's falls. Kozin. The kid's on fire.
He's on fire. Pepe managed to flicker out just in time before the ammunition was about to dome him. Oh my goodness. I don't know who's going to win this game, but by God, this has been the most fierce competition we've seen so far. Stormy now finishing off that Holy Crystal for the sake of the extra little bit of damage. You notice that every single time both teams interact, so many people walk away with 1 HP despite Sky Piercers being in play.
I feel like honestly with that last Lord push, all Pro really needed to get was an inhibitor out of it. You only had 3 members. You're up against the Clint and a lot of just siege defense potential. The fact that they were able to get the inhibitor is a good start. But like I said, we're going to another Lord. Pro Esports still has inhibitor standing. SRG has gotten to the max item point almost. We're getting very close to tie game material.
All right, Zipper, I need your help. We need to know how many Thunderbelt stacks Yums actually has. I need to know the numbers here to see how much damage he can technically take. Because so far, Kozen has been absolutely melting. Oh!
Still play. Saw gets a stun. Cram.
It's gone.
Unable to get away. The Black Dragon comes out, but Kozen still gets him. Sakai's with a beautiful blazing duet finds Saw. But Coiley's chasing him down along with Koizen. 1 for 1, Mage for EXP.
Not bad, not bad. And honestly, I think it's more worth it to get rid of Saw. Now they don't have to worry about, something getting blown out of nowhere. And the best part is by the time the Lord actually spawns, Cram is already up and ready to go in comparison to the staggered death timer coming in from Eudora on Saw on the opposite side. So if SRG want to take first position, they absolutely can. But then again, is it playing to your strengths, or do you want to be the ones who push Pro out of the scenario, right? Make them hesitate on the trigger finger.
I feel it. I think without Cram, though, it is a little hard to break through. But Sakai's either way, even without Cram, has been doing such a great job at invading that backside and slipping out so quickly. Yums once again looking for position around this Lord. As Pro Esports play the map, are we going to see Yums look for that back push again, and will Pro Esports check it?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't seem to be taking that space just yet. There's no reason to. And I think from Pro's side, they've kind of set a neutral state. Top side is going to eventually turn into a slow push. Same goes for that bottom side as well. With that extra minion here, SRG need to be the ones who reveal themselves first. But if they do, that means Pro is going to start blitzing the Lord. It's a game of cat and mouse. It's about information. It's just corporate espionage at this point.
Corporate espionage, I like it. We did see Coily whittle down to that top side to get the push back. SRG are going to look for the engage. Cram hasn't used the Black Dragon just yet. Yums there as well. Has an immortality. Can take a lot of shots. Can take the big push. The Sakai's looks for an angle. Pro Esports bring the Lord down to 10%. Sakai's hasn't made the engage just yet. He finally comes in, but Coily still gets it. Sorry, Felix backs off. Pro Esports got what they wanted. They're not going to force a fight.
No, they're not going to go any further than this. This was a dangerous position to be in, but now we see the minions pushing into the way. Stormy will respond just in time. But this is where it gets really difficult, because now we're talking about a Lord that also gives you damage reduction. Pro Esports just need to gather the troops and get ready to try and press their advantage into it, which is great for Innocent. But the question is whether or not that damage reduction is going to be more than the true damage Innocent can pump out.
It's a lot of damage from Innocent, I will be honest. Pro Esports are going to take this bottom lane, though. It's going to be a double push from both sides. Sakai's cleared the top. Going to be a little bit helpful, but he's got to get back to the base quickly.
Oh, Innocent, he's running out of ult charges here. He's still...
Oh! A lot of damage onto the bot. A lot of damage onto Cram. Cram may be able to get away from this. Black Dragon comes out looking for the re-engage. Masarian Felix still stops him. Sakai's going up against Kuzin, but Kuzin always seems to win out. Lord finally does get taken out, but Innocent is collecting heads right now. Headshot after headshot. Nobody can get away with the re-engage. Coily! He's done! The shot finally comes in, and Kuzin's got the zones forced back. Pro Esports up against Stormy. That'll be it against the odds, against the favorites. Pro Esports still looking for that last Canyon minion. They will take game number 3.
What an insane game to kick off day number 2 here. Cambodia finally gets the win. Obviously, both sides are tough competitors, but by God, do they produce some of the best junglers we see in the International.